Assalamu alaikum. My name is Syed Mohammad Awais and you're watching Sports Extra. Champions One Day Cup. What a tournament it was. I mean, if you just speak about the Champions One Day Cup, there has been so many positivity, even negativity too. I would say the negative news is that many of the top players from the Champions Cup, why they haven't been selected for the Pakistan squad. But if you just watch out the Champions Cup, one good news was that Shadab Khan has clinched the second title of this year. If you talk about Shadab Khan's clinching title, first was for Islamabad United, now it's for Champions Cup. I mean, the way Panthers had beat Marcos by 5 wickets to clinch the title. Superb performance by Hasnain. He has been a superb bowler in the tournament, the best bowler for the tournament. He was back after the injury, and Shadab Khan, if you speak about him, he has been under a lot of scrutiny. But still, I feel that many of them have been speaking about the Champions Cup, that the top performers from, especially if you talk about Tayyib Tahir, you have got many other players like Sahibzada Farhan. They could have been a part of the Pakistan team, but unfortunately, the same test team was carried on. But there's a news coming up that all the mentors will have 35 players each to groom them for the upcoming, definitely big series of the Pakistan Shine. So it's a big step for Pakistan when you talk about the Champions One Day Cup, but we have to go for a short break. Welcome back to Sports Extra, and the thing we were discussing about the Pakistan Champions Cup, which just concluded yesterday, where Shadab Khan team Panthers had clinched the title by 5 wickets against Marcos. I've been joined by two fabulous guests in the studio. I've been joined by K. Asif, who's a cricket commentator and a cricket expert. Assalamu alaikum, Asif.
Walaikum assalam, Awais. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you
You
so
look
much.
fantastic.
Thank you so much. And I've been joined by cricket writer Amal Nadeem. Assalamu alaikum, Amal. Thank you so much, Amal, for the time. As we speak about the Champions One Day Cup, like I told you, it has been one of the fabulous tournament by the Pakistan Cricket Board. Many of the new players you have seen live on the television. Like I told you, there has been positive news, there has been negative news, that many of the people say the players who had consistently performed well in the Champions Cup, why were they not the part of the Pakistan team which had to play against England, the test series, But speaking about that, we have a package on Champions One Day Cup. Let's look at this package and back to the discussion.
Very successfully, Aleem Dar, but I'm afraid he's not going to drive to Karachi.
Panthers beat Marcos by 5 wickets in the final to clinch the title of Champions One Day Cup cricket tournament at Iqbal Stadium.
Champions, and boy, have they discovered this team. Lake City Panthers.
Earlier, Marcos won the toss and elected to bat. Marcos were bowled out for just 122 runs in 34th over. Fakhar Zaman remained top scorer with 46 runs, while Hasibullah Khan made 27 runs. Bismillah Khan with 16 runs was the other batter to reach double figures.
There's a boundary there, so any runs are welcome.
For Panthers, Mohammad Hasnain and Arafat Minhas took 3 wickets each,
Knocked him over inside edge onto the stumps.
while Sajid Khan bagged 2 wickets.
Him up.
In reply, Panthers achieved the 123-run target for the loss of 5 wickets in 18 overs. Chasing a modest target, Abdul Bangalzai and Umar Siddique provide 51-run stand for the first wicket.
Oh, Shandar shot.
Abdul remained top scorer with 41 runs, hitting 5 fours and 2 sixes. Umar Siddique made 19, while Rizwan Mahmood made unbeaten 16 runs. Sajid Khan and Shadab Khan scored 15 and 14 runs.
Tournament. That is the trophy. And what a
For Marcos, Akif Javed and Muhammad Imran took 2 wickets each. Sajid Khan declared player of the match, while Mohammad Hasnain named player of the series.
The Champions One Day Cup, for me, it was fabulous because, I've seen many new faces live on the television who everyone now says that they can be a good backbone for the T20 side, specifically, or for the One Day side for the Pakistan team. Asif, if I speak about the Champions Cup, like I told you, there has been positive thing that at least there was a tournament. You had engaged all your cricketers, your national cricketers who haven't played test, I would say, the list A cricket for like 2 to 3 months or 2 to 3 years, you can say. So they were being engaged over here. You saw some new talent in the Champions Cup.
Well, I think it's a very good effort from Pakistan Cricket Board that, staging these kind of tournaments, especially 50 overs tournament. Pakistan team is struggling for a long time. Either it's T20 cricket, it's ODI, Test cricket, and everyone was concerned about the performances of the key players, of the prior and the premier players like Babar Azam and Shan Masood and some other players, Shadab Khan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah. So, first of all, we'll talk about their performances. Babar Azam, once again, you know that there was a problem with his form and he was not performing from last 2-3 years, and people were raising some questions about his form. He scored a century, he scored a ton, couple of 50s as well. Good thing is that he's gaining his confidence once again right before the very important test series against England. I'm so happy about Hasnain, the way, because he was out just because of his bowling action, and he went to Australia, coming back to Pakistan, now performing in this 50-over format. It's a really, really good side for Pakistan for the upcoming Champions Trophy, because fast bowling is the department where even we're lacking. Even we do have Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf, and some other prospects as well. So I'm so happy about two players. One of them is the Hasnain and the other one is that the Kamran Ghulam, because people were talking about his performances. I've watched him in domestic cricket. I've watched him in 4-day cricket, that he has been so consistent with his bat from last 2-3 years. Now in this one-day Champions Cup, the way he played, everyone is talking about, and that was a shocking news for me, that why he has not been including in England squad. And rest, the form of Shadab Khan, you said that he clinched another trophy in this year. I think it's not a big achievement for me, being skipper, because your performance, your even fitness is a question mark. So it does not matter either you're winning Pakistan Super League, you're winning this Champions Cup, you're not performing well for Pakistan. You didn't perform well from last 2-3 years, and his priority duty is leg spin bowling. Okay, you're doing good with the bat, but we require you as a leg spinner. So that was the concern from Shadab
You
Khan.
rightly pointed out, because Amal, if I just watch this tournament, I mean, like Asif just mentioned a great point over here, specifically of Shadab Khan or many other players, I would say, whose specialty is to bowl with the ball. Unfortunately, they haven't been delivering with the spin. They have been performing well with the bat. That does not mean that the door is open for you for the Pakistan team. Secondly, about Kamran Ghulam, he has been consistent performing in the domestic structure. He performed really well in this tournament. Was it the right time to get him back in the test squad?
Whereas if like talking about Pakistan cricket team, things are continuously going down the hill, especially in the last year. If you see the only significant achievement they had was chasing 345 against Sri Lanka. Other than that, there is not a single match or a single tournament where we could see improvement, or where we could have seen them performing well, irrespective of the format, whether it's a red ball cricket match or a white ball cricket match. So things have continuously gone south. Now talking about specifically Shadab, yes, I do agree to that extent that he has those leadership qualities, but he is not a leader in the national team, so that's not of our use right now. We want him to be back as a spinner, because right now we have pacers. Hasnain is back in form. We had Shaheen, we had Naseem. We have other players from PSL as well, but at this point no significant spinner is the part of our squad, and nonetheless no all-rounder as well. So especially with Shadab, yes, giving him a platform to improve his skills. Most of the players we saw improved themselves, but at this point I think it's quite adding Kamran Ghulam to the squad might have been a good decision, because he has been performing well for the last 1 year. Whether it's President Cup, he performed well. Whether it is like Champions Cup, he performed well. I think at this point you could have given him a chance in the international cricket. Shadab, there's a long wait for improvement right now.
I personally feel one thing. I mean, because everyone has been Asif, if you just talk about the Champions Cup, right time. It was being organized, at least to get you got your players to just engage themselves, and there was something to watch for the spectators. Now many of them have been speaking about many players who can be an eye watch for Pakistan. But when you speak about your backup thing, because you're going to be playing England in the test squad, was this tournament the backup for England test series where you could have gone for new players? Or is it that because you're keeping this in mind that you need some backup players for the Champions Trophy?
Well, I think that keep one thing in your mind, that what's going on in the mind of skipper and the coach, we don't know. Yes, the reflection of the presser, what Shan Masood said in his presser, I think that then I'll go with your statement that if we're not thinking that if their players are performing well in the Champions Cup and we will not include them in upcoming test series, so then definitely we're just thinking about Champions Trophy, which will be held in 2025 in Pakistan, of course. So it's not a bad idea, to be honest. But you know that players like Abdullah Shafiq, if you're not performing well in international cricket and even in the domestic cricket, let me talk about some other players. See, bench strength, I'm pretty much hopeful about Hasibullah, but his form is concern for me because he's such a talented player and he's so good behind the stumps as well. His technique is okay. He doesn't play across the line, but he didn't perform well. And same with
But Asif bhai, I'm sorry for interrupting in between. He didn't perform well. It's not the reason. It's the reason because he wasn't given many chances. That's the thing what I'm saying on. See, if you play a major tournament, that means your youngsters, they get a chance in the opening spells because that's an easy plan where they can play a natural game. You guys have opted these players when it was a tough situation, a knockout stage matches.
I don't buy your theory. I think that I'll go with Brian Lara. He says that there are no excuses in cricket. You'd have to perform whether you are playing on number 5 or whether you're playing as an opener. So it's not a question for me. You're getting chance. You scored 27 last night. You have plenty of time. You should have gone with the big innings. Same with the Fakhar Zaman that. See, he's a senior player that got at 46. You're making your 46 and your team is struggling. I think this is your mindset as well. You change your mindset, play positive cricket, try to play full overs. They played only 33 overs last night, dear. So don't you think that there is a problem with their mindset as well? There was a problem in their planning as well. And then of course that when we talk about that the players who are trying to play cross the line, that's the big problem when you play T20 cricket. And here I give some good marks to Usman Khan. He improved himself. Right before this series, right before this Champions Cup, I was a big critic of Usman Khan, but he proved himself with the bat and behind the stumps. So what does it mean that you're taking the chances and now you convert them in good chances? So it's not like
So
that.
that's the thing,
It's
I mean,
not
because-
like that, Avas, that you're saying that I got only one chance and didn't perform. If you got one chance, two chances, show something extraordinary. Getting out on 27, I think it's not a good idea.
That's the
isn't it?
thing, Amal, because when we speak about a domestic structure, we say that you need to play domestic to get back into the form. It was unfortunate, even I was a big fan of Usman Khan. I wanted him to play for Pakistan, but that shows he wasn't that time ready for Pakistan. Now he looks that he can be a good asset for Pakistan. But moving on to Shan Masood, a test match, I mean, you know, he had a press conference, he looked positive, but there are many things, like I told you, there has been a negativity going on that the players like Shaheen Shah Afridi, for example, why wasn't he given rest? Because there's news, everyone spoke about one thing, that when you talk about rotational policy, when you talk about workload management, this was the right time to get him back onto the bench, work with the analyst, work with the psychologist. Yes, Ahmad.
Exactly. So see, you know, like they say that winners, they never make excuses. So what is done is done. Your series with Bangladesh is past, your performance is past. Now you have to look forward towards this series versus England. So we can obviously say that, you know, Shaheen should have been given some rest because he had some injury during this Champions Cup as well. But the squad is announced. We have to somehow manage with the squad that we have. Like I've mentioned this earlier as well, that when you're captaining for the test series, you have to be very much on your toes. You have to make effective decisions. You have to manage the workload accordingly. You would have 5 days, and you know, like a test match, it gives you more than one chances, because you can, if you're not performing well in day 1, you can obviously come back on day 2, but that requires strategy, that requires certain
Mental
amount
toughness.
of yeah, sorry.
You can say mental toughness.
Yeah, exactly. So Shan needs to understand this one thing. He spoke well, but the thing is that when it comes to the match, last time when he declared the innings at 448, that was not a wise decision. So the decisions that you are taking are going to have a lot of impact on the performance as well. Manage the workload between the bowlers. For an instance, if it is tea time, you should see that, okay, if Naseem has been given many overs, he can be, you know, like given some rest and everything. So Shan, especially because he's the captain, we are you know, expecting a lot from him, especially with this decision making. So I'm really looking forward that he might have learned something from his past. past mistakes.
Also, two things. I mean, if you talk about Shan Masood, remember in the Bangladesh series, there were many flaws. Many of them spoke about his captaincy. Right decision, I would say, aggressive approach, what he had an aggressive approach. Secondly, as a captain, when you don't perform, and when you're sitting in a team meeting, when you're sitting in a dressing room, speaking to the players, obviously that thing is in your mind. You don't speak openly because there's something going on back of your mind that I haven't performed myself. That means someone from the other player. You can say, for example, what happened with Iftikhar yesterday. His pressure cooker just got blasted up in the media while talking to media. So that would happen. Some might just stand up and say, "What's your performance?" First of all, you tell us.
Well, really, really important. If you're leading the side and you're not performing well, definitely you cannot convince your team. You cannot talk to them positively. See, it's a good, as Amal was talking about, he's okay, he is so good while answering the questions, while talking to the media. And if you see his presser, he was just calm, sitting there, smiling and giving answers. It's so easy for him. Yes, the good thing is that he said that I'll take the responsibility as skipper. You would have to take the responsibility, and there must be an accountability. But who will do accountability? Of course, the Pakistan Cricket Board. And if Pakistan Cricket Board and the recent regime, coaches and the managers, if they're happy with his captaincy, and that's why they're giving him chances. But one thing, what he was giving so much, force, that was that we want to give chances, ample opportunities to the players. So ample opportunities to the players, ample opportunities to the skipper as well. That you're not performing well with the bat, but even because we have some plans. And we will take them in the longer term, and we don't go for the short-term policies. Abdullah Shafiq is in their long-term plans. He's not performing well, but even then he is in the side. Same Shan Masood, skipper. He was, when we talk about his decisions, absolutely poor decisions he has taken against Bangladesh. We lost the series. What has the outcome? That he's once again is the skipper. So I think I strongly agree with you this time that if you're not performing well, if you're not okay with your decisions, if you're not okay with your bat, and if you're a bowler, then I think you cannot go and talk straight away to your players that what's going on. But one thing he has said very clearly, and that he said that among the players there is no fight. We're united under one flag, and that is Pakistan's flag. And Pakistan victory is really, really important for us. And we take pressure. He said that after losing Bangladesh, I was in stress, he admitted. So I think that I'm okay with his press conference, whether his performance, I'm not sure what's going on.
But I told you, I mean, it's going to be a great series because Pakistan, I know they're out of the Test Championship finals, but it's going to be a great series because you know that you need to be back onto the track over here. There's a news coming up by Mohammad Yusuf. He stepped down as a chief selector. He's a part of the high performance center as a batting coach. Amal, he has been a part of the Pakistan under-19 too. But one point, what I always say is that these players, I mean, especially your legends of the game like Mohammad Yusuf or the big legends of the game, why don't they work with the under-19 permanently? The biggest thing, what fight we have over here is that your big names, they want to work with the Pakistan national team, but they don't want to work with the under-19s. I can quote an example. India under-19, 90 to 80% of the players are serving in the national team of them. Why is that our players don't work with the under-19s?
It came out as a shock because right after the squad was announced, this resignation came. While talking about under-19 cricket team, it holds a lot of importance because now ICC is giving the same importance to under-19. Our performance in the last World Cup was over the par. We qualified for the semi-finals and everything. So you need to put in efforts for that area as well, because obviously we are getting some talent from domestic, but on the other hand, under-19 cricket is also very important because these players, they already have that international exposure which is required to come to the main team, and it's quite disturbing that why are we not putting in efforts, why are we not stepping up for these players. They need assistance, they need coaching. Junaid Khan also worked as the coach over there, so their bowling improved significantly over the span of time, the under-19 team, but like their captain Saad and their other players, they need that assistance. And I think even PCB should make sure that the amount of work they're doing on the main cricket team, they should ask the players, they should make the coaches to obviously give time to them as well.
I mean, Asif, was it because of the performance against Bangladesh. That pressure, even the World Cup pressure, obviously that would happen in his mind. Yusuf just has stepped down from the selection committee, but he will continue as a high performance head coach, for the batting. But still, I feel again that because the grooming stage for you is under 16, under 14, under 19. But unfortunately, our senior campaigners, they don't want to work with them. But if they want to work with the under 19s, they need the power. They need themselves to just express themselves, but which unfortunately Pakistan Cricket Board has not been good with it.
Well, you're such a cheeky guy. You have an inner story, but you're not sharing with our viewers. I would like to request you tell them what happened actually. This is my humble request. Please.
I don't know.
You don't have
I
this
don't
is. Come on, Awais. Please. Okay. Guys, what he was.
I
what he was
have one
sharing
news
off
that
the
it was.
camera-
I just have one news that it was that, like what we have been speaking about Kamran Ghulam, but it's not authentic. I don't know, because it's from the sources that he wanted Kamran Ghulam to be the part of the test squad. He wanted Tahir Taib to be the part of the Pakistan test squad, and it was the right thing. I personally feel so.
Well, I think, see that if you talk about that his resignation right after the announcement of the squad of the against the England series, it's a question mark. It's not really easy that you're telling that he'll take the responsibility of high performance center and he'll go and he'll work with the under 19 guys. But what happened actually? Guys, he's not sharing actually. He has shared off the camera. He was telling us that what happened actually. And Kamran Ghulam, one of the part, yes. The other thing that he has, he wanted that Kamran Ghulam must be in the part and must be in the squad. But actually, Asad Shafiq and Jason Gillespie, they were consistent with one thing, that we'll go with the same squad. Yes, you know that when we talk about Herrera, they have given chance to Herrera. Herrera should be there. But one player, that is Kamran Ghulam, talk of the town, everyone is talking about that he has performed so well. And that was the same question from Mohammad Yusuf. And when the other colleagues, they were not ready to include him in the squad, he simply said, I'm going.
Oh, that is, but moving on to Pakistan, you know, the Pakistan Women's in Green are present right now in Dubai, where the World T20 World Cup is going to be organized, and Pakistan unfortunately lost the first match, the warm-up match against Scotland. Today Pakistan plays against Bangladesh. There has been many talks, because of chips and chops in the Pakistan batting order, the new captain Fatma Sana. It's going to be a pressure situation. Amal, if you speak about the Pakistan women's team, which is right now present in Dubai to play the World Cup, I know there has been a lot of changes in the Pakistan squad. If you talk about the bowling order, if you talk about the batting order, nothing goes well for Pakistan.
Yeah. See, like I've already said that, winners, they don't make excuses. There are certain things which are out of our hands, which are out of their hands. But what is done is done. You need to look forward. Talking about they played the match against Scotland, they're back in that dilemma where they're only scoring 130s. But it's a little early to say this thing because we are having a match at 7 today against Bangladesh, so we can paint a clear picture where the team is going. Talking about the overall tournament, the matches have not been very high scoring, mostly 140 plus, and the opponent team did not chase. So we can make a statement that 150 or 140 might be enough for them to give the opponent a tough competition. But having said that, the batting order, that this is a dilemma which we face everywhere, but stability is very important. I think the coaches, they need to understand that there is a whole tournament coming up, so a player should know their place, because an opener, because they're playing with the new ball, they have that different technique. When you put them down, it's not very effective for them to play, and it goes the same way for a low middle order or upper middle order woman to come play at the opener stage. So I think it's quite disturbing again, because right now we should have been stable, because we played series against South Africa and now we are in the World Cup. Nonetheless, we should have had a proper batting order.
That's an important thing, because we unfortunately don't have a proper, still I would say, batting order, because the other teams, if I talk about Pakistan, is in the group of death, and Pakistan right now just lost to Scotland with 8 wickets. It's a concerning sign for Pakistan. Let's have a watch on the package and we'll back with the conversation.
Scotland secured an 8-wicket victory against Pakistan in the opening match of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup warm-up games. Pakistan chose to bat first and set a target of 133 runs for Scotland. The initial innings saw Gul Feroza 14 and Sadaf Shams 2 at the crease, but Pakistan struggled, reaching 33 by 4 in 6th over. Manema Ali and Umaima Suhail then fought hard to recover, helping Pakistan reach a total of 132 off 9 in their 20 overs. Muniba contributed 27 runs of 22 balls with 3 fours, while Umaima scored 30 runs of 29 deliveries hitting 2 boundaries. Their partnership was broken when Muniba was caught by Bell in the 10th over, leading to Alia Riaz's entrance. It was a challenging game for Pakistan, with all players scoring below 50 runs. Sadaf Shams 2, Sidra Amin 4, Nida Dar 4 and Tuba Hassan 0 failed to reach double digits in their scores. Captain Fatima Hassan added 20 runs of 14 balls, including 2 fours before the innings ended. Tuba Hassan, who faced the last ball, was caught by Saskia Horley of a delivery from Bryce without scoring. In Scotland's bowling, Bryce took 3 wickets while Bell and Abtaha claimed 2 wickets each. During the chase, Sarah and Saskia Horley made a strong start with a 73 runs opening partnership in just 11 overs. Scotland chased the target of 133 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in 18 overs.
Asif, like I told you, because if you just watch out the other teams, they know the strike fast bowlers, who's going to be the strike fast bowling combination. They know the batting order, what they need to send. But still, Pakistan team is suffering with it. Now the teams are scoring more than 200 runs even in the women's team. But unfortunately, it's the same dilemma for us, 130, 134.
Well, the question is that you have changed your skipper, all the responsibility on a very, very young lady, Fatma Sanab. She's an energetic all-rounder. I strongly, support her. But the issue is that the senior players, they're not performing well. Right before this start of the World Cup, we had a series against South Africa in Multan, and that was the concern that the senior players, Sidra Amin and Nida Dar, they didn't perform well. And if Nida performs, it really helps Pakistan because she's a very, very good all-rounder. Now talk about that. This marquee event, if you see Pakistan's pool, you said that Pakistan is in
group
Pakistan.
of death, yeah.
Group of death. You'll see very, very strong opponents. Even you'll play against India, New Zealand. You never beaten, New Zealand and team like that. So I have a huge concern that right before the World Cup, why we have changed the skipper? That's the question.
That's a big question over here, Amal, because everyone has been speaking about it. It's just not in the women's team. And in the men's team, this has always been an issue. But if you talk about the women's team, you have got Gul Firoza opening up with Sadaf Shams, then you got Humaima. The thing is that you have made so much fluctuation in the batting order, which has literally disturbed your batting order. You still can't figure out that where you want to put in Nida Dar, where you want to put the other players.
No, that's the thing, that mostly what happens is that after results we mostly put the pressure on the players, but that's not always the case. There are a lot of things going at the back end when it comes to coaches, the batting order experts and everything. So these kind of things, obviously they do affect the momentum of the team players. If you're changing the captain right before the series, obviously there will be different decisions that the players need some time to get used to. And again, like I mentioned, that when you are changing the batting order, you are literally changing their technique, because it matters with the new ball, with the old ball and everything. So right now the stability which is which is required, it is very important. We could not see it in Asia Cup, we did not see it in the series against South Africa, because we also saw a fluctuation in the batting order, and now in the World Cup as well. So it's sad to see that we never learn from our own mistakes, and we are now just playing warm-up matches, and we are entering the zone of danger where we are playing some large bigger players, so a bigger team. So I think it's high time for them to, we still got time, just make some right decisions.
I still feel so. It's going to be a tough World Cup series for Pakistan, because thank you both of you. But if you just talk about the Pakistan women's team, the way they have performed previously in the World Cups, unfortunately with small margins, we weren't able to chase. So the biggest problem, what I still feel so for the Pakistan women's team would be chasing. So I hope so Alia Riaz and Nida Dar and Fatma Sana could be a crucial role for Pakistan. That's for today. Keep watching Sports Extra. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.